The Weekend Weekly Roundup, Week 5. As you can see, my list of channels that I subscribe to is still growing. I am still going to keep on these reviews every weekend. 5 creators reviewed why you should probably follow them too. Gaming Snips and Bits. I love the style that this channel uses for ship reviews. Clear and no nonsense. That he hits the mark just right, and he's still very active.
So, how does it perform? Well, as always, it depends what you're planning on using it for. For exploration, it doesn't have the legs to do a long distance over a single jump, which is fine if you want to explore every system you possibly can, but if you're thinking about taking the gunship from the bubble to Colonia with some exploration on the way, there are better options out there. The ship has 7 hard points, which is the same number as the larger Imperial cutter or Federal corvette, but on a considerably smaller frame. Yes, those two ships pack much bigger guns, but that's not the point I'm making. The gunship has the quantity, if not the same stopping power, and like the aforementioned large ships, if you get bored of the pace and you want to get a touch of the zoomies, you can jump in a fighter and stretch your legs. That's right. You can get a fighter bay in this ship, which is something that you can't do with the dropship or assault ship, somehow, given that they're about the same size. So you could argue that with 2 fighters on board and manned, those 7 hard points have become 11 hard points. And once you're done bringing 7 to 11 barrels down on your opponent and you've removed them from the mortal realm, you've got a higher potential cargo capacity than the dropship and the assault ship, meaning that you can liberate any components and goods remaining to increase your profits. It's also got something in combat that I never found with the dropship. It's got the fun factor. If you've woken up on the wrong side of bed that morning and you absolutely need to make a statement to the galaxy about how hacked off you are at it, this is the ship you want. One enemy at a time. This isn't like the Eagle or Viper where you sit in a blind spot whittling away at your opponent. This is the ship you use head on, with one hand off the controls, raising a single middle finger at the canopy as you approach your target head on. This is the ship you use to say screw you and everything you stand for, and screw your hamster too.
Crimson Gamer 99. Lots of comedy mixed with some brilliant advice and actual gaming help. This one is definitely worth watching for chilling out and for learning things.
The situation here is that we've got a crime, and that crime is how good looking my situation is right here. Am I right, ladies?
I'm not a lady. No. Rock and roll McDonald's! Come on, strike me down, Zeus. You don't have the ball.
Oh, crikey, a ganker. Don't panic, Dave. Just remember what they told you on Reddit. Gankers are notoriously bad at the game. I just need to fight the interdiction. Wait, why isn't this working? Oh, Reddit says I just need to straight line away from him and do some barrel rolls. It should confuse his targeting. Well, this is rather inconvenient.
Wow, that was really hard to watch.
Shut up, he was probably running premium.
Would you care to hear some actual gank evasion advice?
No, I'm gonna get revenge. Reddit says gankers run when people actually fight back.
Fair enough. Let me know how that goes for you.
Have at you poppy-kicking basement dweller.
Would you like my advice now?
Alright, fine.
If you throttled down to 0 and submitted to the interdiction, then the cooldown would have only been 5 seconds. Your second mistake was to straight line towards nothing. As you saw on the Geno cam, your barrel rolls did nothing.
I'd like to see you do better. It was in a fully kitted frag mamba.
No, Dave. I'd like to see you do better. Don't panic, Dave. Go over to your left-hand console. Scroll down until you've got a system targeted, but don't select it yet.
Andrew van der Stock. This guy knows how things work, goes into lots of detail, and seriously worth watching to see how you can affect the galaxy.
So I'm going to do a few episodes of getting into BGS, and this is the first of them. And so what I'm going to do is just take you through the very, very basics of BGS in a short video. And then the next video we'll get into actually doing some BGS. If you do a lot of trade, a lot of combat, drop some exploration data, and potentially do some combat bounties, you will boost them and it'll go up. You can see this one went up from 34.4% to 49% in just a couple of days. Welcome. We're in a system called FF Andromedae. We're going to search for the nearest raw trading materials by going to renaro.cz, clicking on data, search nearest. We're at FF Andromedae, and we're looking for material traders. And the nearest raw one is at LFT 42. Vision. I don't think I've ever been there before. Nope, never been there before. Now, this commander has most of its materials. It has quite full bins. Where's the ball? There's the ball. 6. Okay. You can find the material traders in contacts, material trader. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill these bins up. Now this row is, you always want to go from here down to fill them up. And the way that I do this is this, and I can't do any more. That's fully traded.
The Pilot, most known for his excellent ship reviews on Elite Dangerous and now Star Citizen. I'd love to see his views on the Type 8 and the Python 2. He still does some great other content as well, like this interview with a ganker. Definitely worth a watch.
If you drop in and interdict someone and say, I'm a ganker, I'm going to kill you now, at least over chat, and give them a moment to understand what's happening, that this is open play, you are vulnerable, this is what can happen, and then blowing them up, at least seems a bit more sporting than blindly destroying them.
True, but, then you run into what is, of course, our personal pet peeve in the PvP community, combat logging.
You don't think it's a personal pet peeve for people just starting off to get blown up instantaneously for no reason?
They logged into open, and that's something that can happen. It's within the game rules.
You're saying pet peeves are going to happen if you log into open?
Absolutely. And you can...
Versus your pet peeve.
Conditioned and said, yes, you can menu log. The PvP community won't like it, but there's nothing we can do about it. But we certainly get our fair share of people who task kill, which is against the terms of service.
I'm going to circle back this and give you another shot here. What's the value of ganking?
Entertainment.
That's it?
Of course, it's a game.
You don't feel like there's any other opportunities for entertainment besides killing other players?
Yeah, sure. We all play the game. We all have our Care Bear moments. We go exploring. We do PvE content. I'll even do BGS on behalf of Father Bill. But for the most part, what keeps us in the game is PvP.
No, it's not PvP. It's ganking. Let's make that very clear.
So I'm just gonna say right off the bat, your first instinct is going to be to load this ship with multi-cannons and point it at the closest thing that pisses you off. And that instinct is correct. Though it does chew through ammo like a pig. I'll be honest, I've never flown the ship before this week. Why would I? I didn't like the look of the dropship or the assault ship. To be perfectly honest, I couldn't pick any of the 3 out of a lineup if my life depended on it. It's just 3 shades of boring. But I'll tell you right now, I was wrong not to care about this ship. I don't care how ugly it is. This thing is fun as hell. Despite all reason, I like the gunship. Because in practice against the pirates and drug lords of the galaxy, the gunship is still a great machine. It has the firepower, it has the shields, it has the armor, and it has a fighter bay. Simply, it was built to punch a hole through whatever is in your way. So that's what I'm gonna do. Make some noise.
I'll say it. I think this is the most immersive ship in all of Star Citizen. And if you listen, you can hear why. This ship is an orchestra of metal, hydraulics, and motors. And it looks like a camper van in space. I fucking love this thing. This is the Drake Cutter. And let's be real clear on this. This is not an A-grade ship.
Moxon Wolf. Just fantastic course on flying with flight assist off. Got some brilliant combat skills, and a lot of people I know have learnt from him. 5 well discussed and demonstrated beginner lessons. Unfortunately, he never made the expected advanced lessons. If anyone has any contact, it would be interesting to know why and that he's okay. Do check these out though.
Welcome, Commanders. My name is Commander Hobbs, and this is my first Flight Assist Off training video. I've been flying Flight Assist Off for almost 2 years now. It's all I fly. I don't use Flight Assist on in Elite Dangerous at all. There's actually quite a few of us in the galaxy. You might be surprised. A lot of them are lone wolves, but some of us have banded together into a group called Newton's Gambit, which exists to provide education to the community and to answer questions that anyone might have about flying with Flight Assist Off. We actually take apprentices in, so if you're interested, check out the link below the video. Anyway, this video is about Proficiency 1. So when I'm talking about proficiency levels, I'm really just referring to 5 different levels inside of my head that I divide up training for a beginner. So level 1 through 5, proficiency 1 through 5, number 1 being the entry point, number 5 being the exit point, going into intermediate training. So today's exercises will be only on level 1 or proficiency 1. Later I'll upload some videos for the other proficiencies. So there are a couple things that you need to know going into this. The first 2 being key concepts to always have loaded into your mind when you're flying Flight Assist Off, and the third is actually a skill that you should have down at least to some extent before you start these exercises I'm about to show you. The first 2 are the concepts I was mentioning. Use minimal input rather than overcorrecting. So you never want to overcorrect when you're in Flight Assist Off. It'll create this chaotic state in your ship and your mind. And number 2, be aware of your speed and know your vector at all times. Those 2 are critical concepts to have preloaded in your mind before you launch at any given time with Flight Assist Off. The third, which was a skill, I usually call it quiet your ship. It's the ability to turn Flight Assist off, create a chaotic state in your ship, so that's pitch, roll, etc., and then recover from that. That's a critical skill that you should at least have a little bit of experience with before entering these exercises. If you need more help on that, I'm going to link to some videos below that were done by some wonderful commanders that I actually learned from some of them. And I'll link those in the description below. Or it is a CQC asset that was added into the game a while back. There are a bunch of these. There's actually a bunch of non-CQC assets as well, including the new generation ships that you can find. You can find a listing of these in the description below. I'll put a link up. That planet also we'll be using. That is a low-gravity planet. Perfect location for us. Welcome back, Commanders. My name is Commander Hobbs, and I'm very excited to bring to you this last proficiency video for our beginner series, or our beginner training sequence that we go through. If you haven't gotten a chance to check out the previous 4 videos, please do so. The exercises in this video are very much built off of what we've learned in those previous videos. If you've been working hard on the previous exercises that we've been going over and you complete these exercises in this video, well, guess what? I consider you a graduate of the Beginner Flight Assist Off Academy. Proficiency 5 contains 2 separate exercises that are very useful for your everyday life flying with Flight Assist off. And the last one is a really good proof for you of the work that you've done.
There you go. Those are my 5 recommendations for the week. All worth watching, especially if you're a fan of Elite Dangerous. And also Star Citizen with the pilot. And also if you want to learn some excellent flying skills from Mox and Wolf. Got another 5 next weekend. I'll get some more videos out during the week, hopefully. And we'll catch you then. Thank you.